So Americans, rich and poor, are packing their bags and leaving the United States of America. From the first 6 months of this year compared to the first 6 months of last year, Americans moving to other countries has increased by 90%. That's right, 90%. And so that's almost double where it was last year. And so, folks, people are seeing the craziness and the chaos and the instability and the violence, and they're just leaving. They're just leaving. Folks, let me know why you think this is happening in the comments.
I'm an American. I pay $1,600 for a flat that has no bedroom. That's 2/3 of my income. I'm an American. I work 50 hours a week. I don't have health insurance. I'm an American. I couldn't afford to have a child even if I wanted to. I'm $7,000 in debt. I'm an American. My health is declining because I can't afford Whole Foods because that's too expensive for my life. I am very overqualified for my job, but no one else is hiring. I'm an American. I make my boss hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, while I can barely keep myself alive. I'm an American. I have never been out of the States. I have never been on a vacation. I'm an American. I make $20-some an hour. A livable wage here is like 30-some. Yet I don't qualify for government assistance whatsoever. On the days I don't work, I'm so tired I just sleep all day. I'm an American. My electric bill is so expensive I sit outside in the heat because I can't afford to turn the AC on in the damn house. I'm an American, and I fear I'm just an average American. I'm living the American dream.
Hello family, welcome back to my YouTube commentary. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for those who are subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting, and those who are sending super thanks. I appreciate it. Now, I've come across a number of videos where white Americans or white people are leaving America to other countries. And I was asking myself, if these countries that great as they are saying, why are rich white people running away? Okay, let me not use the word running away, but why are they shifting? Why are they going to other countries to invest there? And I asked that question to myself and I got an answer. It's because the economy is bad. It's because they know power is shifting. They know the empire is falling, and that's why they are fleeing. Okay, now it is so powerful because they never thought that one day will come that this will happen. Even personally, I never thought I would live to see a day where white Americans are fleeing their own country. Okay, we get there. Now, what we are seeing is not just a normal immigration. No. It's not just normal migration. It's not just people moving, but this is prophecy fulfilled. This is prophecy fulfilled because our ancestors spoke at the time. There's a day our ancestors said that the empire that the empire that enslaved, the empire that colonized, the empire that oppressed will crumble from within. And now, family, we are watching it unfolding right before our own eyes. Now, think about this. For centuries, America has been held up as a shining city in a hill and the land of dreams, the land of milk and honey, the empire that could never fall. But right now, history has always told us the truth that no matter how, if the empire is built on lies, it will not last forever. Rome didn't, Babylon didn't, not Greece, not Britain, and now America is on the stands. The soil is so weak. The ground is weak, has been soaked on water. And white Americans are seeing this clearly. The economy is shaking. The politics is broken. The culture is divided. So, before I go on with my commentary, I don't want to make you tired with my yapping. I love to talk. But please, just adhere with me because without this talking, we are following the rules of YouTube, okay? So I have to say my own. I love sharing what I have in my heart, okay? Now, let's watch these clips first and then I come back.
Today's my last day here in my house. Tomorrow I leave for Bali indefinitely, and it just feels like very bittersweet, so surreal. And I truly, I love my house. I love my house. This has been my home for the past year and a half where I've really sought refuge. This has been my haven. And yes, I'm moving to Bali, and it's very bittersweet and it sucks. I just can't live here anymore. My children are here. I don't really speak to my family, but my children live here. They're 14 and 18 years old. I just don't want to be here. I don't want to be here anymore. I have lived here almost 40 years of my life. There's so much more to the world. There's so much more to the world than just this little piece of backyard, this house. There's so much to see, and I don't want to see it only 2 times a year, only 2 weeks a year. I want a vacation. I want to travel for all my life, but just know that there are sacrifices. There are sacrifices that are made. And this is one of them, having to give up my house yet again, willingly, but having to do this in order to get to what I want. This is the closing of a chapter and the beginning of another one, and it's beautiful, it's bittersweet, but at the same time it's the bitter part now. It's the bitter part now.
Hey, what's up, America? We have a big problem that we all need to talk about. And that's a little-known financial crisis that everybody's dealing with, but nobody's talking about. 74% of Americans are now living paycheck to paycheck. This means that 3/4 of America use all the money they make at their paycheck just to fund their lives with no money left over at the end of it. So 75% of people in the United States get money when they get paid, and it's all gone with their bills, and they have nothing left for savings, recreation, or catching up on previous bills. 75% of people. Before Joe Biden, that number was 48%, jumping to as high as 67% at the end of his presidency, to now ballooning to 3/4 of the entire nation barely getting by. Yes, 75% of the nation is barely getting by and financially struggling. This also comes among a new study that says the rich in the United States are the richest they've ever been, and they're gaining more money. So the time for wealthy people having a bunch of money is fucking coming to an end. We have plenty of wealthy people having plenty of money. The rest of the country doesn't have a fucking pot to piss in anymore. So we need Doge stimulus checks, or we need less tax burden, or more money one way or another. Let's get fucking to it. But it's not going to happen, is it? It's just going to keep getting worse.
The number one reason why Americans are moving to Mexico is because they can no longer afford to live in the U.S. So they come down here and they take advantage of the lower cost of living with their American salaries. And yes, I agree that they're moving down here for a better quality of life, right? And with this logic that we shouldn't be mad at the people that are having to move down because they can't afford the U.S. We should be mad at the large corporations that keep screwing us over and are forcing us to have to move down to other countries where we can afford to live. So you see how you guys have empathy for the Americans that just can't afford to live in the U.S. anymore? Where is that empathy for the immigrants that are going to the U.S. for also a better quality of life? And not necessarily just for the economic opportunities. A lot of them are fleeing prosecution. A lot of them are fleeing and looking for asylum. But even then, Americans have absolutely no empathy for them. And I'm not referring to all Americans, because some do. But the vast majority of them, as we just saw during the elections, don't. The point that I've been making in these last few videos when I'm comparing how you guys treat other immigrants versus how you guys place American immigrants on a different level, a different standard to be held to when it comes to following immigration laws, circumventing policies, and taking advantage of the loopholes in our immigration systems here in Mexico so that you can come and afford a better quality of life at our expense. Because when Americans come down here, I don't know why some of them have the idea that they're doing us such a favor by just coming and bringing their dollars, when all they're doing is increasing the cost of living for us and making it harder for us to be able to get by on our Mexican salaries. But even then, some of you hold the opinion that, well, we shouldn't be mad at them because they're just looking for a better quality of life, Susan. Okay, well, so are the immigrants from Central America and South America that you guys want to shut the borders down to. It's the hypocrisy for me. And even those Americans that move down here and are just kind of like move down here to get away from the politics, and they maybe don't agree with what's going on, they're also part of the problem, because instead of staying in their countries and fighting for change, they're abandoning ship and going to a different country and creating a different problem for the people that live in that country as well. Gentrification.
I'm this close to spending that last $400 on a one-way ticket.
Yes. Book a one-way ticket out of the US if you are trying to save money. I think all of us can agree that it has become ridiculously expensive to live in the US. Many of us are living paycheck to paycheck and just continuing to accrue debt. And honestly, the only way that I saw out was to sell my house and to move to Bali. And if you don't have a house to sell, that's okay. Take what money that you have in savings and book a one-way ticket to an affordable country like Indonesia, Thailand, Ecuador, Colombia, Vietnam, Cambodia. The cost of living in these countries is less than $1,000. You can probably get it to $200 to $300 for a month. You can stay in hostels. You can house sit for people and have your accommodation completely calm. You can pet sit as well. But slaving in America is not it anymore. We are not the land of the free. We are the land of the slaves. We are common day slaves. All we do is work, eat, sleep, repeat. So if you're sick of struggling and living paycheck to paycheck, the only way that I see out is to leave the US indefinitely. And take it from somebody who has already done so last year. Life is so much better.
Okay, we have to talk about this comment because it is hitting me right where it hurts. If you've never seen me before, my name's Meredith. I'm exploring life outside the United States. I'm currently in Mexico for what was supposed to be 6 months in another country. I did not think it was going to be this bad. Yes, I left the United States entirely for political reasons. But I didn't think it was going to happen this fast. I didn't think I was going to become a resource for dozens and dozens of other families seeking to leave the US and now Canada, because I know that the cost of living there is also astronomical. But watching it unfold, the downfall of the US, like she sums it up perfectly. The downfall of the US is ugly to watch and has to be blamed on someone. It has to be blamed on the voters who voted for this last November. Watching it, knowing that I'm out, knowing I'm safe, but wondering, am I going to be able to get back in? And if I were to get back in, what type of life is there for us? This is the hard part that no one could have warned me about, and now I just sit here and think about all day, every day. And all I try to do is do my best to help people so that everyone knows that you can get out. But what happens next? I don't know. And for everyone who voted for this, yeah, shame on you. Thanks for forcing me, someone who loved my country and was in my country, working in politics and government, trying to make my country a better place. And now what? What's there to go back to?
I am so scared for us American people. Like, if the bills keep rising the way that they do, how are we gonna live? Like, you can't live off minimum wage. There's no damn way. My electric bill is $150. I'm never home. So what's it gonna be next year? $200, $300, $400? Rent, thankfully, I have cheap rent. But some people I know are paying like $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 a month. That's insane. Like, I'm scared for like my generation of people and my children. Like, my son, how much is rent gonna be when he's old enough? $4,000? Something's gotta give, because there's no way that we can continue to live this way. Like, us normal people. No way. Who are bringing home $600 a week. And your rent is 2 paychecks. You still have car, gas, groceries, electric, internet, blah, 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 blah. There's no way. Something's gonna happen. Like, we need to, like, protest bills. Stop fucking paying them. Evict us. Stop going to work. Now the government's not getting tax money. Like, the economy's gotta fall. Because otherwise, everyone's just gonna be homeless. I don't know.
Last day in this house here. We are moving out today, January 31st. Finally, I can reveal my address. I don't care if anybody creepy people find it. fitted RV in there, 2-car garage, 3 bedrooms, new year, new house coming in Europe. So I was paying $2,700 for this, and the next video I'm gonna show a comparison to what I'm getting in Europe for $1,500. It's been a pleasure. Goodbye.
Anyone wanting to move out of America, it's all fine and good, but this is what living abroad looks like. A lot of the time, it's shitty and lonely and scary and exhausting. And there are a lot of people on here who will say, I just moved here and it's great. And that is true. It's fucking better than America, whatever it is. But there's also a lot of really shitty parts. My daughter was just here for 3 weeks. She left this morning to fly back to go to school. And I miss her already. And I don't have my good friends, my friends who know me here to support me in this moment. And it sucks. So I'm missing my family and my friends. And I've been here 18 months. It's not like I'm new. I don't know why I'm posting this. I hate when people post crying on the internet, but I just want people, I've had a large influx on my FYP of either Americans that are moving abroad, planning to move abroad, have already moved abroad, and there's a lot of us. And there's a lot of reasons to want to move abroad, and I get that America is not a safe place for a lot of people right now. But it's just, you need to know the reality of like how mentally hard it is to start over. It's exciting, but it's also some really shitty days. So
Welcome back. Now, I made a video of the prophecy of our ancestors in the slave ships. You haven't watched that video, I don't know why. My previous episode, the title is this one. Let us go back to that prophecy and let us remember the voices of our ancestors in chains when they were taken from Africa, when they were shackled in the belly of the slave ships, when they were forced to work on the plantations. They sang about Babylon falling. They sang about Pharaoh's army drowning. They sang about the day when the oppressed will be free and the oppressor will tremble. And those songs carried coded messages of escape, but they also carried visions of the future. You get me? When they cried out, "Oh, freedom over me, oh, freedom over me," they were not just asking for release from chains, but they were speaking of a future where the entire system that enslaved them would collapse. And here we go. We are watching it unfolding itself. White Americans, the children of the colonizer, the heirs of the slave owners, are running. They can't hold anymore, okay? They can't. And this what they are seeing, these storms, okay? They see these storms coming that money even cannot buy them. They see collapse coming that guns cannot protect them. And the irony is very powerful because they once told us to leave. They told black people to leave. They said, go back to your country, go back to Africa, okay? If you don't like it here. But look at the irony today. Nobody's telling them to go away. They are going away by themselves. They are running. They are fleeing, you know? It is them who are looking for somewhere to run. It is them who are fleeing because they know the empire is cracking and they cannot do a shit about it. They can't. When I go back to history, as I love doing, let's look at the fall of empires like the Rome Empire. Rome ruled the world. Rome soldiers conquered nations. Rome rulers declared themselves gods, but eventually it fell. Not just from outside invasion, but from within corruption, from greed and division. Babylon, the mighty empire that enslaved and oppressed, fell when it was least expected. The handwriting was on the wall, and the people who thought their walls were too strong discovered that prophecy is stronger than walls. You get me? Britain, the empire on which the sun never set, colonized Africa, colonized Asia, colonized Caribbean. They built wealth of the lands of black people. They built their empire off the backs of black people. but eventually it collapsed. Okay? Right now, Britain is just another struggling nation. Now, America stands in the same line. It had its time, it had its power, but the cycle of history cannot be broken. Empire that rise through oppression always fall by the same hand of prophecy. And white Americans knows this, and that's why they are living. They are not just living because of taxes or because of politics or because of safety, but they are living because deep in their spirit, they feel the same thing our ancestors felt when they were saying or when they were singing about Babylon is falling. Now, reports are everywhere right now. When you go on social media, TikTok, YouTube, you will see white Americans are selling their homes. They are moving out of cities. Some are living for rural areas. Others are looking outside the country. They are packing up businesses. They are going to open businesses somewhere else. Not because they found something better, but because they know what is coming here is worse. I hope even the middle class, working class white people or poor white people will know this. They were played from the beginning. The economy is unstable. So you have to understand that the dollar is shaking, debt is peeling, and the cost of living is crushing them. For generations, they told Africans that they were lazy. They told black people they were lazy. They told us that we needed to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, but now look who can't handle the pressure. Now look who is running when the boots are too heavy. It is prophetic and it is divine. It is the reversal of history, the tales of turning. The oppressor is becoming the refugee and the master is becoming the fugitive. Okay, the ones who told us that this land was the best in the world are now running from the very land they built. Okay, and let us be clear here. This is not the end. It's just a start. It is just the beginning, because as prophecy has declared, the collapse of America is not a single event. It is a process. It starts with fear, then moves to collapse, then ends with judgment. Now, a number of things is a signs that America is collapsing, and that's why there are people are running away. We have, let us mention about economy. You know, the economy, inflation is eating away everything. The dollar is down. Now, once the king's currency is down, you know what is coming, because dollar was the king of currencies. Okay, right now it is being challenged by nations that are trading without it. We have nations coming together, bringing their own empires like BRICS. Okay, now number two, it is politics. The chaos that is right now in America, I never imagined we'll see chaos like this on my lifetime. But politics is bringing chaos in the States. Okay, left against right, Republican against Democratic or Democrats. People no longer trust their leaders. Division is everywhere, and prophecy says this: a house divided cannot stand. Another thing is society. We have guns everywhere, and that is what killed our brother Charlie Kirk, because he was supporting guns. He was supporting that gun violence, and then it came back to him. Okay, so we have violence is rising, schools unsafe, drugs are spreading, families are broken, morality is lost. So the ones so-called themselves a Christian nation, but look around, corruption, greedy, and lust everywhere. Okay, now another reason the signs we are seeing, the signs of white falling, is the outside nations. Okay, the world stage, because for decades America dictated the world. Right now nations are standing up. Africa is rising, Asia is rising, Latin America is rising, and the world is no longer going down in America. White Americans are seeing it, are seeing the crown is not on the head anymore. So this is what I'm mentioning here: economy, politics, society, and the world stage. It signs that it is collapsing. Okay, because they match the pattern of every fallen empire before. And our prophecy tells us, when you see these signs, you know the end is near. And this is why we are living. And while they are running, Africa is rising. The land they mocked now is being fertile. The land they called poor, now they want to come here. The land they stripped of resources. Today, Africa is uniting, and nations are saying no to the Western control. So white America can see the shift, and they know that the future is no longer in America. They know exactly the future is in Africa. They know that. They know the future is in Africa. And for us, the children of Africa, whether on the continent or the diaspora, is our moment. The fall of America is not just the end of the world. It's the beginning of ours. Now, as white America running to other countries, because let me tell you, One thing for fact, Americans can run, go anywhere. White people can run, go to Africa. But at the end of the day, this is like just the prophecy being fulfilled. And all of them, they need Africa. Even if they run to other places, they will need Africa. So Africa is a constant factor. You can never run away from Africa. You can never despise Africa. You can never, okay? So hear me clearly. White Americans are living because they know America is falling. They can see the handwriting on the walls and they can see or feel the prophecy unfolding. But we, the kings and queens of Africa, descendants of greatness, we must not fear and we must not run. We must stand because this is our time. Tell me what you think on the comment section. Until next episode, peace out.